You know, as Pakistanis, we have a lot of love in our hearts, as is. We all know that. All we need is a little bit of purpose. And I think that's what it was. So this transformation happened over the past 4.5 years. It happened with the same people who had been in state life for the past 30 years. The only newcomer was me. So I think I instinctively fell back on my professional training. I am an actuary, I know these businesses, I have exposure to around the world. If the capital regimes here, I've worked across capital regimes or regulatory or legal regimes around the world. I know I can understand this balance sheet better than anybody else. So let me come up with a solution here. So I think it was that professional confidence that drove me as far as the organization was concerned. So if you say in 4 years, we've grown 3 times, 300%. And remember, this is during the time of COVID, political instability, economic instability. When most of Pakistan was saying, it's so difficult. We were saying, hey, we're going to win. Conversation and the drive was also about convincing the people within. And they were people who slowly and gradually started stepping up, started accepting that this is okay, something good, this is something that's for the betterment, this is something that will reflect as a legacy on all of us. So my actuarial team, which sits within State Life, my chief actuary, they stepped up. Our marketing, sales and marketing team did a fantastic job. State Life is also unique in the sense that we usually have deputationists, which are about 21 grade officers who come in for 2 years or so. A lot of them came in with a lot of impetus. And as the wind started coming in, more and more people started believing. I think that's where the confidence came in from. You know, that's the high level thing. But on ground level, it was a lot of work. A lot of hard work went into it. And I think I've aged to show that. I think for the first time ever, the chairman sat down directly with the field workers and negotiated with them for 6 months straight, which meant that the Field Workers Association, the representatives of this 100,000 field force, they would be in my office till 2 a.m. What I did, being an actuary, with the help of my actuarial team, we developed for the first time in State Life a 10-year predictive model. That if something happens today, what will my balance sheet and what will my revenue account look like till 2035? You know, and it had all the variables in it, all the assumptions. If the economy goes bad, if our business levels fall, you know, if our expenses go up, whatever else, if somebody sneezes, what happens 15 years from now? That's what that model was. But what that did was also gave complete transparency. Once that confidence and that trust was built up, by being directly engaged with the field workers, it was 6-month-long negotiations with them. We restructured the entire, their commission structure, their promotion cycles, and again, a lot of credit to these field workers. Because like I said, we all have a lot of love in our heart. We just need some purpose. And remember, these were the same people who were doing a dharna outside the Senate at D Chowk 2 years earlier. They spent 3 months during Ramzan protesting, outside the Senate in Islamabad. When they saw that here is someone who's coming at their level, working with them for the greater good, not for anything individualistic, for a purposeful agenda, with a purposeful agenda, they also then rolled up the sleeves and said, we want a solution, let's get to a solution. So there was hard-held negotiations that we did. We restructured everything. And of course, when you have 200,000 people, you need to canvass, you need to campaign, because you're not just convincing 10 or 20 people then. That message has to be taken out to Pari Chinar, to Swat, to Gilgit, to Chitral, to Quetta, to Turbat, Larkana, Laya, Pindi and Lahore. Things were not very rosy, to say the least. And decided to just pick up my bag and take a road trip across Pakistan. Let's go meet these people who are sales agents and see what the grievances are. So this is the sort of trend that started, that every year around November or December, I would do this week-long or 10-week-long road trip across Pakistan, where we'd go from Karachi to Khyber or Karachi to Kashmir and meet anybody and everybody we possibly could. First time we did in 2021, dark, dingy, gloomy is the adjectives I would use. And 20 people would show up, 30 people would show up, and they would just full of grievances. That their incomes, their household incomes have been slashed. They can't afford school fees anymore. Ghar ke chulhe band ho gaye. But it was my job to listen. At that time, like I said, it's not for me to be arrogant and know, hey, I know everything. It was for me to understand this is something different, something I've never come across. I need to hear them. I need to understand how much of what they're saying is valid, how much is just emotion, what all I can actually engage with. So it was a learning for me. And that's where empathy comes in, because there's a lot of truth in what they're saying. And parallel to that were these negotiations going on as well. And that ground level feedback helped me come back and say, okay, I get what you're saying. Let's try and do this. Fast forward 4 years, now I've just come back last week from a similar tour. Those dark, dingy meetings from 20 to 40 people have now blown into every meeting, be it Sargodha, Sialkot, Multan, Faisalabad, be it Peshawar or Aptabad, even Mirpur AK, Swat, Gilgit, back to Lahore or Pindi or Karachi. Every meeting is now 1,000 people. They come in their floods, they're happy, they want to take pictures, they now talk about the success stories, they bring their kids on, that, and it's beautiful. My kid's now going to city school in Sargodha, and that's beautiful, that's very nice. They can pay school fees for their children again. The young field workers, they come with their parents. And I really enjoy it, to be honest, because, some people might think that, hey, self-promotion is not self-promotion. These people are not there for me. They're expressing their emotions and their happiness. So for me, sometimes I see the same person a grown man 4.5 years ago who was in tears, telling me how he's had to pull his child away from school because he cannot afford his school fees, to now dancing and just being happy. And for me, that is success. Early years, I was born in Quetta, but we moved to Karachi at a very young age. So I've grown up in Karachi. Schooling was mostly in Karachi Grammar School. My father was a civil servant, a bureaucrat, so we moved around quite a lot. But most of the years were pretty central in the city. Pretty much after schooling, I was in London. I was in London for 14 years. Did my master's, did my uni master's there. Also completed my fellowship as in the Institute of Actuaries, because of which now I'm a fellow of the Institute of Actuaries UK. So I worked with Ernst & Young, HSBC, Prudential, and my last role in the UK was, the head of capital management for Prudential. Prudential was one of the 7 insurance groups that was part of Too Large to Fail concept that came in after 2008, 2010. So I was heading that concept and those development along that side for them. So a lot of engagement with, I think, global regulators from Singapore to Germany to America. The reason I moved out of there was a simple thing, that to get out of my comfort zone. To get out of that comfort zone, I landed up in Hong Kong. I was in Hong Kong for about 3.5 years. And my last role in Hong Kong was with AIA, which is the largest pan-Asian insurance and asset management company. My last role there was global director for strategy and risk, which means overseeing 14 countries that come under this multinational group. The sense of purpose was the driving force, and thought was, you've learned a lot, you've studied a lot, you've developed a skill, at least for a few years, try and see whether you can do something back home. And I think when I came back to Pakistan, once again, I was burning my boats, that there's no way back. When I was outside and I was to come in, my pet peeve was when somebody used to say to me, Pakistan aise hi hota hai, tumhe nahi pata. Aise nahi ho sakta. Wo tum London mein jao, wahan pe hoga. So I'm glad to prove all of them wrong. If you have purpose, if you have focus, everything can happen in Pakistan. It's a great country. Regardless of where in the world I might be, the thought that you've delivered something is always positive. But I would also continuously, because you're rooted in your own country no matter where you are. And I hope to create a platform where, regardless of where I might be 20 years down the line, that I continue to deliver to the people of Pakistan.